Hey friends, Shay here. So today is the final day of 25 days of manga. This month has been a lot for me, as y'all know, but I am very happy with the response that y'all have had to 25 days of manga. It's been good, it's been a nice challenge, and you all have been amazing. So thank you for your patience with me and my content. I will be taking the next week off from making content, so you'll get a break from seeing my face before we go to our normal uploading schedule for 2023, which, if you missed, is in my goals for 2023, which should have been yesterday, so check the playlist. But today's video is going to be my top 10 manga of 2022. Now, I feel like these manga are what people associate with me, especially in this last year, and things I've been talking about a lot, things that I'm very passionate about, and things that I continue to fangirl about. Now, I have left off things like Yona because I'm not current on Yona, and some things like that on this list, but I think this is a pretty comprehensive list of what you can expect hearing talked about when you come to a channel like mine. So let's go ahead and dive in. Editing Shay is going to have to insert all the images, so I'm sorry, Editing Shay. So the first one on this list, these aren't in any particular order because I can't rank them. I just can't. So I'm just going to go top to bottom on how I have them written. So the first one I have on my list is The Apothecary Diaries. The Apothecary Diaries is a seinen series in which we're following a young woman who is inadvertently pulled into the politics of the inner imperial palace court. And there's a man who is drawn to her and interested in her in ways that he doesn't fully understand. This series is heavily political. It is very thought-provoking, and I just enjoy every step of the way when it comes to Apothecary Diaries. The art is stunning. The characters are amazing. There is so much to love about the Apothecary Diaries. So again, if you've been sitting on this one, I think you'll genuinely enjoy it, because this was one that I went into hesitantly and ended up falling madly in love with. The next one I have here on this list is Skippin' Loafer. Skippin' Loafer is another seinen series, surprisingly, about two kids in high school. One who's kind of awkward, but very outgoing, kind of the country bumpkin, very plain, not traditionally Japanese gorgeous kind of girl. And the perfect looking shoujo boy who ends up becoming her friend, and he ends up having feelings for her. This series is precious in so many ways. I care deeply about each and every one of the characters. Misuki, I think is her name. Her caretaker is one of my favorite characters in the entire series, and I was pleasantly surprised by some of the dynamics and discussions that are being had in this series that were pleasantly unexpected for me. So again, another one, if you've been sitting on it, you definitely shouldn't, because it's truly amazing. Another series that I absolutely love and adore is Queen's Quality. Queen's Quality is the true sequel to QQ Sweeper. Queen's Quality is much more in depth. We are getting volume 16 in the next week or so. And in this series, we're following this girl named Fumi, I believe. No, his name's Fumi. Names are leaving me this morning. I'm very sorry. But in this one, we're following a young woman who, to this young man, is very recognizable, and she doesn't seem to recognize him. So things are very interesting, and it is all about cleaning out your mental mind and taking care of your mental health and the things that can disrupt that. It is truly a brilliant series, and the way that it's all handled and the way it's all interconnected is truly interesting. If you like very involved shoujo tropes, yes, there is some romance to this, but it is primarily almost a political style story, even though it's a contemporary, and I adore it. It is by far one of the best current running shoujos on Shoujo Beat. So if you have not tried Queen's Quality, shame on you. Please do. I know I'm not the only one touting Queen's Quality's amazingness, so it's not just me, I swear. The next series that I think people associate with me and that I absolutely love and adore is Requiem of the Rose King. Requiem of the Rose King is a series that follows Richard III and Henry VI from Shakespeare and kind of mashes them up into one messy political story based around the War of the Roses. So there are true historical elements to this series. The art style is amazing. I absolutely adore all the characters, even though none of them are great people. This is a series about horrible people who make horrible, selfish decisions. And along the way, you just can't stop. Like, you just want to know what's going to happen next. It's one of those series that is compulsorily readable. The art is stunning. And it's just so unique for what we get in manga lately that it just stands out from the crowd for me. And it's one that I just will talk about forever. Another series that I think people associate with me that's been a big part of my year is I Think Our Son is Gay. In this one, we're following a mother of a teenage boy who she's seeing signs that he may be gay. He seems to be more excited when there are big burly guys on the TV instead of girls. Not really had much interest in girls, but there's a particular male classmate that he seems to show a lot of interest in. And so she wants to understand her son. She wants to help him in any way she can. But one of the things she has to protect him from is his very homophobic father. So this series does have some trigger warnings. Expect if the dad is on page, you will hear homophobic slurs. So just be prepared for that. But in this, over the course of the 4 volumes that we currently have, we see a mother learning to not only stand up for herself, but for her son. And she's doing everything she can to understand him, protect him, love him, and give him what he needs, especially when she knows how her husband feels about queer people. So I love this mother so much. If I had kids that felt that way, I would want to be this mother. I would want to be this loving and this supportive and to stand up fiercely for my children whenever I needed to. In the beginning, she's a little more hesitant to do that, but as the series continues, she's more and more fierce. Her mama bear starts to come out, and it's brilliant, and I love it. Another series that I love and adore that a lot of people found through my channel was Donuts Under a Crescent Moon. This is a sapphic office romance, very slow burn, very low steam, about 2 women. One is trying to fall into all of the boxes that her parents want her to, and the other knew she was gay very early on and just kind of started to be herself, and are one that's trying to do everything her parents want her to, really admire and adore her for that, and the other one for that. And they start to form a friendship involving the title, and things start to blossom into more. We will be getting the final volume in the next quarter, but I am very, very excited to finish this series off. It is a beautiful series. It's the perfect time to catch up because volume 4 will be out soon, so give this one a read. The next one on this list is also a queer title, and that is Cherry Magic. Now, y'all bullied me for a long time to read Cherry Magic, but I finally did. I absolutely love and adore this quirky story about a man who turns 30, and because he's a virgin, he can start to hear people's thoughts. In doing so, he learns that his male coworker that he works with quite often has some interest in him in a very sexual way. And he kind of doesn't know what to do with the information, and he starts to get to know him, and things start to develop into a relationship. It's really brilliant. I really love this series so much. I cannot wait for the next volume. And this is one that as soon as I can get them in my hands, I tend to consume them very quickly. This is just a really fun, quirky BL that really is like slow burn and low steam, despite the, imagery that the one guy has. So it's interesting. I think the next couple of volumes are going to be very telling. I don't know how long the series is for sure, and I know that there's a drama about it as well, but I love this series. I just do. The next series that I feel like shaped my year in a way and that people would come to my channel to see is Witch Hat Atelier. Witch Hat Atelier is a story that is very fantastical, feels very Ghibli in its art style, in which we're following a young girl named Coco. Coco is a girl who wants to do and understand the magic of this world. when she breaks the rules and performs magic anyway, there are consequences. And because of those consequences, she is brought in by Master Kifri to be formally trained in magic. The magic in this world is very like hush hush. People don't talk about it unless they perform magic and are naturally inclined towards it. And it's beautiful. It's very political. It's much darker than you think it would ever be looking at the art. It is truly a masterpiece. This is an Eisner Award winner for a reason. Definitely check this one out. Next on this list is the smuttiest one on this list, and that is Fire in His Fingertips. It is the smutty firefighter romance that we all want. And yes, banging is the majority of the plot, but there are other things going on within the series that are really fun and really interesting and keep me engaged with it. I talk about this one a lot on my channel, so I'm not going to say too much, but essentially this is about two childhood friends who the guy has had feelings for the girl for a very long time, but she sees him as a playboy. He plays into that a little bit, but then he finally gets an opportunity to have some alone and intimate time with her through circumstances, and things start to bloom and develop from there. They have a very high steam sexual chemistry, and it's a lot of fun. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And the last one on this list is my all-time favorite series currently that is complete, and that is Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. I have a whole video talking about why I love this series so much, so I will leave that linked in the corner for you to check out, but just know that this series means the world to me. Seraphi is a character that I love and adore. She comes in knowing that her life is essentially over. She's been raised her entire life to be sacrificed to the King of Beasts. And she knows that and accepts that. And the king is kind of baffled by that. So when it comes to the ritual where she's supposed to be sacrificed, she learns the king's secret. So because of that, she chooses to stay by the king's side and support him and understand him. And so he admires her so much that he is like, yes, I will make you my queen. And this, obviously, because he is the King of Beasts and she is human, causes all sorts of political upheaval. And this story is much about learning to understand yourself and your demons and everything in the world that you could. This is truly a brilliant series. I love it with my whole heart and soul. This is a series I will not stop talking about. There's a high probability that I will do a read-along sometime with Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts because I love it so much. I would like to reread it on my own first before I do a read-along of it. But with that said, that is everything that I have for this video. Thank you again for sticking with me through 25 days of manga. If you're here just because you love me, leave me your favorite holiday emoji down below. And merry, happy, whatever you celebrate. And I will see you guys in 2023. Bye.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my head?